If you want to go from broke to rich or financial freedom or retirement, it is critical you do these 8 easy things in order to achieve that. Now, there's going to be no magic sauce, no magic spreadsheets, no crazy formulas or anything else like that. If you're coming here looking for that, guys, I'm sorry. This is not the place for hopium or lottery or any of that other garbage that's out there that's everywhere as to easy ways to get rich. Now, having said that, these are actually easy to do and execute to them, but that doesn't mean fast, and it doesn't mean it won't require any work either. I'm basically saying they're so easy, anyone can do it. It doesn't require a rocket science degree or a high level of understanding in finance or anything else of that nature. Anybody can do these 8 things. So first up is to take ownership. This one for me, I said it first because it is like the starting block. If you do not take ownership of everything that happens in your life, quit blaming the government, quit blaming others, quit blaming your situation or anything else of that nature, play the long game here and take ownership of everything around you that you can control. Right, you can't control everything, but you can control how you spend your money. You can control all the other things we're going to talk about today. But the only way you can actually take control, not think you have control, but actually have control, is to take ownership in the first place. If you aren't where you're at right now, you got to acknowledge that, hey, I made some mistakes too along this way. If you're always blaming others or, throwing out excuses there, that's not going to cut it. You're never going to make the changes necessary in order to actually be wealthy. You have to basically say, hey, I'm here today because of the decisions I made ultimately or how I reacted to a situation. And so I'm ready to take the next steps in order to go to that next level, in order to get rich. I own this. I own the good and I own the bad and everything else in between. And hey, it just is what it is. I own how I react to all the things around me in the end. I can't control everything that happens around me, but I absolutely control how I react to those things. So take ownership of everything in your life in the first place right there. That's the first thing you have to do. Again, it's not Wall Street's fault. It's not the government's fault. It's not your family's fault. Own it. Own all of it, and you will set yourself up for success on the next 7 things. So next up is learn how to invest. All right, now what I mean by this is don't go watch a couple of YouTube videos and think you know how to invest in stocks. Or go watch a, really real estate book and then immediately think you're the greatest real estate investor out there and you absolutely know what you're doing. Those are great first steps, but it doesn't mean you have any clue as to what you're doing out there. Investing is where the big money is. However, if the big money was easy and only required you to watch a couple of YouTube videos in order to get there, everybody would be wealthy. But it's just simply not how it works. If it sounds too good to be true, if somebody's telling you get rich quick or anything else of that nature, probably not the route you want to go. It may work in the short term. It's not going to work over the long run. See exactly how that has turned out repeatedly over and over and over again, because when does the average person want to invest? Typically during the worst times to invest, right? Best time to buy real estate was 2006. Everybody wanted to be a real estate investor back then. Everybody wanted in on the game. And then we saw exactly what happened. Same exact thing with the stock market, right? 2021, everybody wanted to be an investor. Everybody had the next 10x stock. Everybody wanted to buy crypto. Everybody wanted to buy everything. And look at what happened. People actually quit their jobs to be full-time investors, even though they had no clue what they were doing. They just watched a few videos, decided they want to be an investor, and because we were in a ridiculously hot tippy top of a top bull run, it worked and people thought they knew what they were doing. And of course, when 2022 happened, they realized they had no clue. They lost everything and they're right back to working a regular job again. So don't make that mistake. You have to learn how to actually invest. Take courses. I got a full group dedicated to stock investing. Not saying my group's right for you. Maybe another group's right for you. Not a problem at all either way. I'm not trying to pitch you my group. I'm just telling you, you need to get the education, and it's not going to happen in 30 minutes or an hour of watching videos here on YouTube, or even several weeks of watching videos here on YouTube. It requires a lot of work to learn how to invest, but it is easy work. The math is not hard. The formulas are not hard. The concepts are not hard. There's nothing hard about any of the types of investments you can get out there and invest in. The hard part is having the discipline to actually put in the work instead of watching Netflix or something else. Number 3, level up your skills. Now, for those of you guys out there that are working regular W-2 jobs, I guess even if you own a business too, but I'll speak here to most folks out there who are working a W-2 job, you need to level up your skills. So many folks say, hey, they should promote me. It shouldn't matter if I have a degree. It shouldn't matter if I have the certification or not. Well, sorry, guys, that's not the reality of the real world. Does it work in some cases? Yeah, it actually does. But I'm always shocked at how many folks are mediocre at their jobs. they're a mid-tier employee, and then they do absolutely nothing to stand themselves apart in the future or to future-proof their job. Hey, I'll sit down and talk with a lot of folks. We'll talk about advancing their careers. And it's kind of like, hey, when your field, what exactly are the different certifications? And they'll tell me 2 or 3 or 4 different certifications that could help them in the future, but they don't actually pursue any of them. You've got to constantly be leveling up your skills, constantly bringing something new to table for your current employer or a future employer. Don't be afraid to jump those jobs, right? But you're not going to look that great to another employer if you haven't leveled up your skills in the first place. I still deal with some folks who still like, yeah, I want to work there, but I really don't like using email. That's not really my thing. I much prefer just call people. Well, that's not the reality of today's business world. You basically have aged yourself out of the market by not figuring out email. I know that's kind of an extreme example there, but it still comes up with a lot of folks who just, I'm not good with technology, so I'm not going to learn it. Well, then you're going to have to, unfortunately, work more of a blue collar job versus a white collar job. If you want to move up in that white collar world, you have to be constantly leveling up your skills in the tech world. Just simply because you're not comfortable with it or you don't like it is completely irrelevant. You got to level up your skills. Number 4, master your money. Now, statistically, like over 90% of folks have no clue how to master their money or no clue what that actually means. So the very simple way to define it, there's a lot of different ways to define it here, but the basic way to define it is if at the end of the month, you don't have at least 10 to 20% of your money to be able to turn right around and invest either in the stock market, real estate, whatever your chosen investment is, you have not mastered your money yet. Matter of fact, statistically, most folks are spending more money than they actually make each month. So unfortunately, that's the vast majority of you guys out there. Now, hopefully not. Hopefully, we're all the anomaly there. But the reality is most folks want. Whenever I hear folks that want to come into my group, they constantly want to trade stocks to raise capital. It's because they haven't mastered their money yet. No amount of money is going to fix not mastering your money in the first place. That is statistically proven. Your new raise is not going to fix your bad money habits. You will find a bigger house. You will need nicer schools for your kids. You will need a nicer vehicle. You will need a lot of different things because you haven't mastered your money in the first place. Somebody who's able to save money at $50,000 a year is going to be able to save money at $80,000 a year, is going to be able to save money to $180,000 a year, and vice versa. The person that can't save at $80,000 is not going to fix that problem. Neither is $180,000. Maybe in the short term, but over the long run, lifestyle creep is going to creep in. Those bad habits are going to creep in. You're going to be like, oh, I'll make it up next month. Oh, it's no big deal. I'll get another raise. Whatever the case is, you will justify poor habits. Then they become what you do. And at that stage, you're in the same exact spot you were in to begin with. I know I've had friends throughout the years who started off at $80,000. Now they make 7 figures a year and they're dead broke. They spend every single dime of what they have. Now they live a great life, but they are one job loss away or aging out of the job market away to being dead broke. And that is not a spot anybody wants to be in. So if you think money's going to solve your problem, you sadly are mistaken. You need to master your money first and then allow future raises, future money influxes to then exaggerate your asset base and exaggerate your wealth journey on the other end, but it will not happen in reverse. Money does not allow you to actually master your money. You have to do it before the money ever arrives. That's like saying, you give me 6-pack abs and then I'll clean up my diet and start working out afterwards. Does anybody think that plan's going to work? Number 5, create a plan on paper. You have to have a defined written plan in order to execute to those future goals that you have there in the future. And most folks, I don't know, you guys tell me down in the comment section. I know some of my group members, obviously, I know you guys will have that because that's what we preach in there. But most folks do not have a financial plan written down to actually get to retirement, to financial freedom, to being wealthy. Most folks do not have that plan out there. They say, oh, I want to be rich and I think I want this much money. That's not a defined plan. I'm talking about a written, defined plan with action steps you need to take every month, every year, every decade in order to get yourself to those goals. If it's not written, you won't do it. Again, that has been proven over and over and over again throughout the history of time. You have to sit down, write out a defined plan, put numbers to it, put action steps to it, and then you can start knocking off those action steps one by one, do it for a year, and be amazed at the amount of progress you make. Continue to just have it in your head and just, oh yeah, I'm gunning for that one day. And you'll probably be in the same exact spot you'll be in 1 year from now because life will get in the way. I'm not saying life things don't happen, but a person with a defined written plan will be able to still execute and move the football forward. Those that don't will be in the same exact spot the next year. Next up is stop making excuses. I know this one goes right along with taking ownership, but I cannot emphasize this one enough. You have to stop making excuses for your situation, for where you're at right now. So many folks do it, whether it's weight loss, whether it's financial freedom, whether it's mastering your money, whether it's just simply figuring out what you want in life. A lot of folks will make excuses instead of simply taking that ownership and just simply moving forward. As a matter of fact, the first thing that they do is make an excuse sometimes before they even try something that they've never done before. That always amazes me. It's like, how the heck do you know you've never even tried before, but yet you already have a built-in set of excuses as to why it won't work? You have to stop with that excuse mentality and stop going, well, what about this? Well, what about that? What if this happens? I don't know. I'm not really comfortable with that. I'm not good with that, whatever the case is. Instead of having that mindset, switch your mindset to, how do I make this work? What do I need to do? What do I need to get better at in order to make this work? Just that mindset switch, just simply from making excuses to how do I make this work, will be life-changing for you. You will achieve amazing things that the prior you that was making excuses could never, ever do. So stop making excuses. Start asking, how do I do it? Number 7 is take daily action. So we all want to see massive progress, right? That's what they show you on social media, right? Hey, I was here, my weight loss journey, I was here. And then all of a sudden I'm way over here. I went from, 300 pounds to where I'm 180 and I'm ripped, right? That's kind of what you see. And it's really, really fast. Well, that doesn't happen. That happens over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever the timeline is. But the key to it all, the key is taking consistent action every single day. It's not this herky-jerky thing, not saying you don't have times where you do well or you don't do well, but generally speaking, people treat it not as a daily thing that I need to do to move forward, but as a, hey, I'm really hot and heavy on it this 2 months, then this 2 months I'm not hot and heavy on it because I got busy, I got all these other things going on. Don't worry, I'll be back on the ball again in 2 months. That ends up a net zero. You basically go nowhere. But taking small daily actions is how you eat an elephant. I know it's kind of a crude example there, but people ask, how the heck do you eat? Think about a giant elephant being right in front of you and you got to eat the whole thing. Or just, I don't know, pick your favorite food, exaggerate it out to the size of an elephant and go, how the heck do you eat it? Most people try to figure out how they eat it all in one setting. That's what they try to figure out. And every time I ask that question, that is kind of what people do. Oh man, I don't know. How the heck would you eat all that? Well, it's one bite at a time. Take a few bites every single day. And before you know it, that elephant or whatever the heck that giant pile of food was will be gone and you will have moved on to the next thing. Why? Because you took daily actions, knocking out the requirements, knocking out the things that needed to be done in order to move towards that goal, towards that future self. So you have to take daily action. And the last one, you have to be different. All right, I don't know how I can put this any more plainly, and it's going to hurt a little bit. But if you look like your friends, your family, everybody at work, most of the people you hang around, people in your social circles, unless you're hanging out with highly successful, highly wealthy folks, and that encompasses all those groups, you need to be different than all of them. You need to act differently. You need to spend differently. You need to have a different mentality. Everything about you needs to be different because if you look like the 99%, you are going to be the 99%. You cannot break out and become that 1% that are wealthy, financial freedom, whatever you want to put out there as your kind of end state, your end goal there. You're not going to be there by looking like everyone else because everybody else has no clue how to invest. Everybody else is not working daily to get to their goals. Everybody else is spending every dime that they have instead of saving and investing that money instead. Everybody else is going to want to invest like in 2021 when stocks are all the rage and hey, just buy everything to the moon. It doesn't matter. Just put your money there. You're going to make a killing. Never mind the fact they've never looked at an income statement or a balance sheet, much less listen to an earnings call or have any clue about valuation or anything else that goes along with stocks. Just put your money there. It's going to be good. Yeah, investing like that is going to get you like everybody else, which is dead broke. You've got to break away and not look like the 99%. And if you're looking for a complete step-by-step process to go from zero to financially free in as little as $300,000 and as quickly as 1 year, check out the pinned comment down there for the blacklist where we walk you through every bit of it step by step, including myself and a group of experts in there to help you along that journey. Check it out. It's the pinned comment. So thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next video.